Hi there, back again with another little update on how the knees are progressing, and what can I say? Well, there's been good, there's been bad, there's been you name it, and we've probably all shared it together. Now, as you would have known, maybe not but from a previous post, we went to Bali last month and managed to get through that. I'm back in town. So if you're not familiar with Bali, it is a little bit rugged on walking and knees and ankles and feet in particular. Some of the pavements are not the greatest, and some are very narrow. You've got to side shuffle to let people pass, and there's pavers missing, so it's a bit treacherous in places, but we managed to get through it. I managed to get through it with at that point I was about 16 weeks I think into the recovery of the last knee replacement, or the second knee replacement. So what's happened since is I have experienced a little bit of what I consider to be nerve pain. Firstly, I'll just say I've finished physio. That's been signed off. He was quite happy with my progress as to my ability with the knee. It is flatter. It's about yay much off being flat. So before it was about 3 degrees, but it's now gone back down to almost nothing. The flex on it, the bending is up from 125 degrees from my previous visit to 135. So he now considers me to be in the athletic category for how much I can bend my knee, but trust me, I'm no athlete, and won't even consider becoming one either. But that was a little bit pleasing that the knee is able to flex and do all the things that it should do. But as far as getting back from Bali, a couple of issues I've had, and even during the stay at Bali too. I think this stems back from a previous back, or I've had 2 back surgeries prior, and the sciatic nerve was damaged in my right knee, right where the knee joint is. So I've always had that for a fair period of time now. So it's always been numb. It's always had some sort of sensitivity to it, I suppose. Numbness, sensitivity. If you just brush past it, it feels really horrible. And I think that has not been helped by the actual total knee replacement surgery that I had on that particular knee. The left knee is progressing along fine. That's almost up to 11 months now. So I'm pretty good on the left knee. That is probably my go-to knee for balance and so forth. But the nerve pain I've been having has been like a really crazy stabbing pain, and it's not constant. It's more so at night when I'm asleep on my side, and also I can get it while I'm on my back too, but more so when I'm on my side and there's pressure on that particular knee, even though there's no pain to speak of when I put pressure on that knee. It was very sensitive right up the top where the quad area comes into the actual knee bend, and it was like a severe stabbing pain, and it does make me go ah. I do have to yelp with it. It's that sort of pain, but it's definitely a nerve type pain, and it's you can tell that. I think as we get older, we can associate what sort of pain comes from what sort of injury or what sort of issue we might have had. So I'm pretty certain it's from that sciatic nerve being initially damaged, and it hasn't improved it. But that has subsided somewhat over the last 2-3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks, and I'm not getting that so much, but that was a real issue, and I thought, how long is this going to last for? But it's probably negotiable now. I guess it's occasional. So happy with that. Other things that have sprung to mind, probably through watching other videos and some of the comments that have come through, is about the unstableness feeling of the knees when you're walking, and they feel like they give way. This is probably common, and I'm pretty sure it's about quad strength. What I find is, now that I've just turned 69, that I'm not going to be able to get the quad strength that I used to have as a young fella. So, you know, you got to put up with that. But it's not one of those things where it's going to collapse completely. It just feels like it gives way, and you can just spring it back. It's just one of those weird things that happens, I guess. That still occurs with me. It probably is more in my left knee, surprisingly, which has had longer rehab. That aside, there has been other issues like the clicking of the kneecaps, where they're annoying little buggers. They click and they clack, and I don't think that's ever going to go away. I think we're stuck with that issue. Even when you've got your leg just straight out, you can just press down on your knee and you can feel it spongy. And there's just this little, feels like there's a pocket of air or water or something underneath it, and it's just floating there. And as I do that, I'm not sure. So that, I think, is going to be with us for the duration of how long these knees last. So I think we've just got to put up with it. It's annoying. It's particularly worse, I find, walking around a house where you've got to be aware of furniture and cats running under your feet and things like that, where you're taking smaller steps, and it tends to really compound on a smaller step. But when I take a longer step, if I'm outside, and obviously you've got the atmospheric noise and so forth, that you don't really hear it as much, so therefore you're not really aware of it, really. But inside, where there's obstacles to avoid, smaller steps tend to make it happen for me. I don't know about your instances, but that's what it sort of that's what we're up against, I guess. But if it's outside, taking longer strides, I find it's a little bit better. Now, walking up and down steps, it took me a while on the right knee, which is the latest one to be replaced, up until maybe a good 2 weeks or so ago, that walking down the steps was a little bit difficult. I still had to do the one step, but now I can pretty much bound down steps, leading with the right knee, I'll lead with the left knee, whichever one. It doesn't seem to affect me anymore, so I'm quite happy about that. So so I can pretty much jump up and down stairs okay. What else have we got to tell you? Not much, really. That's pretty much about it. I think we're just waiting the thing out to give it a generous amount of time to rehab, particularly knowing that the left one being now 11 months, and they say 12 months is the magic time for you to feel pretty much normal. It is okay. My downfall is I don't do a lot of physical exercise that I probably should do. I noticed when I was in Bali, we were walking 5 to 6 kilometres a day. May not seem like a lot, but trust me, in the heat over there, it gets to you. So I found that it was pretty good, or both of them actually were pretty good. So I would advocate for walking. I'm guilty of not doing it myself, so rap on my arthritic knuckles for that. So but really it's travelling along okay. I was going to do an earlier update, but because of the pain I was having and the discomfort I was having with that nerve pain, I thought it would probably end up being a bit of a negative video, and I don't really want to do that. I want to be as positive as I can for those of you contemplating getting the total knee replacements done or going through the rehab at the moment, having had one done or so forth, that it can assist you in some way to say, well, in my case I'm recovering pretty well, and I didn't want to say, no, I really regret having this done, it's causing me too much pain and aggro, that I should just put up with the arthritic pain. But what I have been doing is trying to take a mental note of what it was like before to what it is like now, and that is the difference, I think, for me, that I can notice that I had terrible issues trying to get up and down of a chair, like, you know, like this is, it's pretty straightforward, it's pretty easy, but before I was like, so, you know, putting a lot of effort in just trying to get through my knee pain getting up. So that is a lot better. I can get around without that pain so much better. So in regards to, yeah, it was a good thing versus, oh, I regret having this done, no, it's still a good thing. There are maybe side issues, like I said, I've got my nerve pain, which is different to other people. If you haven't had that nerve pain already, that you'll get setbacks at some point. It'll ache, it'll do this, it'll do that. Sleeping for me is fine. I'm pretty good at sleeping. I do tend to sleep a lot more now on my back. I do like to have my legs straight out a lot of the time when I'm relaxed. It just seems more comfortable. I do tend to cross legs quite often, just to stretch them around, but you know, you look like a little bit of a fidget really, but you know, you got to keep them moving, I guess. So, but yeah, I like them being straight out, so sleeping on my back is a new thing really, but by and large everything is pretty good. Now there is one thing I want to show you, so I'll just go and grab my props. Okay, this is something that I found really handy. It's designed for being used in the garden. It's just got a foam, double foam seat. It's got a little carry bag on the side for your trimmers, pruners, whatever. And the good thing about it, as well as just being a seat, you can watch. You can turn it over and it becomes a kneeling pad with handrests, supports. So you would use it like so to do whatever you want to do on the garden and get down and dirty, and you can use it in anything really, wherever you want to kneel. And then you've got the hand supports to help push you up, and I found that really handy. So I just wanted to show you that. That comes from a company, well, it did come from a company called Aldi. I'm not sure whether you have those yourselves, but it's pretty much just a gardening tool. So maybe gardening shops or online somewhere, but I find it very handy for anything that needs kneeling. So On that note, I'll let you go, and I've waffled on a little bit too much, I guess, and hope you're all doing really well with your recoveries or with your contemplations or research into getting your knees done and replaced and getting on to being able to get around by yourself a little bit better. Okay, all the best.